Welcome to Key Concept 8, Applying Tools for Future State Planning. How can we plan for the future state? With an understanding of the current situation and ideas of potential actions or countermeasures that could be taken to improve the process, there are a number of tools that can help with future state planning. It is important to stress that the focus is not on the ideal state, but rather on achieving an improved future state. Common tools used for future state planning and completion of the right side of an A3 form include 5S tools and methodology, spaghetti diagrams, standardized work plans, and other tools and/or activities such as just-in-time inventory planning, implementation planning, benefit cost analysis, and follow-up action planning. All are pretty straightforward and involve applying common sense. 5S is a series of tools and a method used by organizations to organize a workplace, especially a shared workplace, like an office space or shop floor area, and keep it organized. It's more than housekeeping, and it aims to improve workplace efficiency, morale, and safety. Assigning everything that is needed a specific location saves time hunting for things and shows when something is missing from its designated location. The 5 S's are sort, straighten, shine, standardize, and sustain. Additionally, there are 3 other S's sometimes included: safety, security, and satisfaction. Let's take a look at each S of the 5S methodology in more detail. The first concept of 5S is sort. Here are the details. Let's start with the guidelines. Take a stock of inventory in the work area. Get rid of all non-essential items. Keep regularly needed items close and easily accessible. Put less needed items further away and/or higher up. And free up storage space. Next, some questions to ask about each item: usable or not usable, essential, wanted or unwanted, current or obsolete, used frequently or infrequently, or better stored somewhere else. Continuing with the 5S methodology, we have straighten. Simply organize and label the locations for all items. Shine. Clean the workplace. Make sure each piece of equipment is clean and in working order. Start with the main work area and work out from there. All materials needed for work are available and marked. Standardize. Develop procedures for cleaning and restocking the work area, methods, standards, and schedule. Assign responsibilities and post expectations. And finally, sustain. Review the workplace regularly. Consider starting with sort each time a product change occurs and/or when new materials or forms are added to the inventory. Audit regularly and post the scores, and make plans and assignments for maintaining and improving the area. Here is an example of the 5S methodology put into action for the making toast activity. Please take a few seconds right now to review the steps. Another tool that can be used for future state planning is the spaghetti diagram. The spaghetti diagram is a point-to-point diagram and an excellent way to demonstrate a current and/or future state or condition. It contains a graphic representation of employees, clients, materials, equipment, or information travel in a defined work area and a pencil drawing on a layout diagram of the workspace. What we see here is an example of a spaghetti diagram for making toast. Next, let's look at a future state map in future state planning. A future state map is a graphical representation of what the desired new process should look like. It is not ideal, but brings you closer. It is created by the team and should be developed using pencil so it can be easily modified. It provides a view of how the current state is transformed into the A3 future state. A future state plan moves the A3 from the current state to future state, considers the target and goals, and there is at least one countermeasure for each root cause, and the countermeasures become the basis for an implementation plan. Standard work is typically the most effective combination of people, materials, and equipment. Creating standard work plans is a method whereby you typically focus on continuously improving the major categories or elements of the cause and effect diagram, people, materials, equipment, and methods, until the most effective or standard is achieved. Once a standard work plan is established, the observation form, previously introduced, may be used or adapted to document the process. It may also serve as a visual management tool for the new standard work plan and for implementing just-in-time inventory strategies where appropriate. Sometimes countermeasures are needed to implement standard work plans or other future state implementation plans. A countermeasure may be thought of as an action taken to prevent an undesirable outcome. Countermeasures can be thought of as actions to prevent undesirable outcomes or proactive actions to achieve your objectives. Implementation plans in the context of Lean Sigma and A3 problem solving are plans which provide sufficient benefit cost detail and action planning steps to successfully transition the process from the current state to the desired future state. This typically involves identifying what actions or steps need to happen, who will do them, when will they be accomplished and completed or done, how much will the improvement initiative cost, what are the benefits, what follow-up actions are appropriate. On the right is a completed A3 form. This serves as an example of how selective tools were applied for the Lean Sigma Initiative new program proposal process introduced previously in value stream maps, and illustrates the level of detail. Using the A3 problem-solving form can often add structure to an analysis. Let's look at a few examples for illustration. This is an example of a completed A3 problem-solving form for planning a trip. And here is another example of a completed A3 problem-solving form for a program proposal process. Let's review. The focus of future state planning is not necessarily on the ideal state, but rather on achieving an improved future state. The tools used for future state planning can be deceptively simple to implement and often overlooked or ignored. However, it is not what you call them that counts, but why and how you employ them and the results you obtain that really matter. Now that you have been introduced to the concepts of applying tools for evaluating the current situation, let's look at the next steps you should take to master this key concept. First, you will have the opportunity to enhance your learning by viewing two short videos. The first video focuses on 5S training, and the second video is about the lean manufacturing, visual management, and 5S. You will also have the opportunity to read an overview of the JIT model. Then, you can reinforce your learning by thinking about the process you identified as the focus for applying Lean Sigma tools and methodologies, and then considering what tools are appropriate to utilize for right side or future state planning. And finally, you will assess your learning by completing a practice quiz on this key topic.